Welcome to the All the Hats We Wear podcast. This is the show that will teach you, the entrepreneur, innovator, or visionary, the time management skills you need to be joyful, productive, and fulfilled in all areas of your life. Sound pretty good, right? I'm your host, Scott Snow. I'm a productivity expert, life coach, speaker, and backgammon enthusiast. I welcome you. Today we have a great special guest. Alex Collins Alfonso is a digital marketing expert. He helps his clients maximize their SEO, search engine optimization, so they can achieve all of their business goals. His website, Collin SEO, Collin SEO, and his YouTube channel of the same name have many step-by-step valuable trainings that are sure to help you grow your business and your brand. So basically, I got Alex on a Zoom call and pretty much asked him every question I could ever think of related to SEO and digital marketing. And he answered them all. Get out your notebook and enjoy this one. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Would you tell us about your business?
Well, I work doing SEO as a freelance myself, and I started working in digital marketing agencies, specializing in different parts of marketing like Facebook ads or Google ads. And I realized working in these agencies that I could do this by myself. It wasn't so hard because the opportunity is tremendous. You might see a lot of digital marketing people and all these things, and you might feel overwhelmed, like there's no space for you. But the opposite, there's so many businesses that don't really know about this or they don't do anything. So I started to realize that the most efficient, in my opinion, digital marketing strategy from all the ones you have was SEO. Just the basis of SEO and everything. And I always liked also website design and all these things. So I take care of a client. If they have a website, I do the SEO, and if they don't have a website, I make the website completely optimized and then go on with the strategy. That's what I do.
And you're in Spain.
Yeah, I'm in Spain, in Alicante. I don't know if you know, it's under like 1 hour to the south of Valencia. It's nice. It's a nice warm part here. Yeah, I really like it. I really like it.
We were talking before the interview. We were talking how I went to Spain in my 8th grade English class. We ended up going to Spain. So
to Madrid, right? You said?
Yeah, Madrid and Torremolinos, and then one day we went to Northern Africa, Morocco.
Oh yeah,
Tangiers.
Yeah, there is here in my city. There's a big connection with Erasmus because there's a university, and you get Erasmus people, a lot of from the US and other parts, and they have these travels. They can travel really cheap, and they go to like Morocco and all this. I'm like, I wish I could do that. They normally go to these parts. They're really fun, and all the parts from Spain and all this is. I would like to join them too.
Very nice. Well, we met on TikTok.
That's it.
And then got talking there, and you know, my this podcast, a lot of the listeners are entrepreneurs and small business owners, innovators in their own right. So I figured this would be great to have some help with some SEO and get some strategies there, because you know that can help save a lot of time for entrepreneurs when they wear all these different hats. One of them certainly is the social media part and the marketing part. So that's definitely. I think you're really going to be helpful to us.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the biggest mistake entrepreneurs and small business owners make with SEO?
I think it's many times they don't really understand the basics. That's because many times, many articles, videos, and everything, they are really made to catch attention and catch like clickbait and all these things, and they make it in a way that is like, oh, just keywords, pages, SEO, number one, all these things. And I try as best as I can in my videos not to do that. Although I've been told off sometimes by a few SEOs when a video, especially in TikTok, reaches a lot of people. They told me, you explain it like it's too easy. I'm like, oh. But it's just not really understanding the basics, and the basics are not hard. Once you understand the basics, it doesn't really mean that you can do it. It's because you need to really learn how to do it. But when you understand the basics, you can firstly, as a business owner, know what help you can get and how to hire the right person, that's for sure, and to manage expectations. Because the concept of SEO, you can explain it to someone who doesn't even know what a website is in 5 minutes, or what a ranking and all these things. But yeah, if you don't manage as a business owner expectations with SEO, how long it takes, what you have to do, what changes can be done and cannot be done, and all these things, then yeah, you just might not have the best results. But it's definitely something. The good thing about SEO is definitely something you can do a little bit of it, and it's just about that, always analytics, just that graph going up, more clicks, more impressions, and little by little, you get more clients, definitely.
From personal experience, I can definitely relate with, trying something and then not giving it enough time or not having enough belief that it's really going to work. And then you just fizzle out of that and then put your attention on something else. Now I'm going to focus on Instagram for a while, and then that doesn't do much. So
Yeah,
knowing,
no, definitely, because there's so many. You need to have like a little bit of a 360 overview of marketing, not even digital marketing, just marketing and understanding the concepts. And as a business owner or with my clients, I always try to explain it as easy as possible, because they already have a job. They might even have 5 different jobs as a business owner. They need to take the kids here, or they need to do this, depending on the business. So when you are like, okay, marketing, digital marketing, I need to grow, I understand. And then you see all these videos, Instagram, this, that, do this trick with the clickbait and everything. So it can definitely be overwhelming if you're not ready for it. If you just go and like, okay, what to do? Tell me what to do. I want to rank, or I want 1 million impressions or views. It's like,
so with small businesses and entrepreneurs, we really have to be pretty clever about how we do it because we're going against the big boys, right? And the big gals.
Yeah, definitely. With SEO, that's why this is a part of SEO. You might have heard about it, called keyword research, which is basically finding what people search and try to create something for them with a strategy behind. And the good thing about SEO that I like is that people search so many things, so many different things, and in so many ways. And what Google is trying to do is to give the most relevant results. You do have an opportunity to rank, even if you're a small business, but you either need a professional or you need to put that time that we're talking about on learning the basics of SEO. So as a business owner, my best advice, I did a video, I think, for next week, I think, saying don't focus on those really big keywords. If the keyword sounds short and very specific, don't go for it. You need to go for the long things that people sort of tell Google more information about what they want.
So
And
as an
there you,
example,
yeah.
my focus is time management. So that would be, a search that would be, I'd be way, way on the bottom with such a big, wide one. So is that where you start to get into the long tail keywords?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I had a check of your website, and is with a business like yours, definitely the blog post and all this information and stuff. If you visualize everything into a funnel, you should be focused a lot on that top of the funnel. When people are not really telling you, I want a time management course. Not they don't know what they want, and if you answer their questions or their searches maybe 5 times, then by the 5th time they'll be like, okay, this guy knows what I'm going to do, his course or his video or whatever. And yeah, so it would be looking for searches that people do about this topic that are very specific, and with the competitor research that you do, to see if it's possible or not to rank. You could decide and do a piece of content about that. And at the end of the day, it's always aligned. You want to give the people value, and with the keyword research you see what those people want. So it's just a perfect connection there.
So how do you determine if I find a keyword, if it has way too many searches, then it's out of my league?
Yeah, it's to simplify it, a great thing of SEO is that you can see what Google is doing in that specific moment. So if you find a keyword and you're like, I don't know about this, just search it with this a little tip, with specific tool that takes away your history, your everything. There's quite a few websites that even mimic a location. So do that and check out what you see. And then one quick tip would be to see if the websites, checking the title, specifically target that keyword. if you see how to manage your time to be more efficient, if all the titles are how to manage your time, how to do this, 7 tips, then you definitely know, okay, there's definitely people writing about this. But there might be something more specific, how to manage your time when you're away from home, something like that, and you tag that, you might see 2 or 3 articles. Google might put another of the general ones, how 7 tips to manage your time, still there. But if you do one that is specifically for when you're away from home, and you give value and you do everything correctly in that content, your chances of outranking that big website that is writing about it generally, but your chances, because it's more specific, definitely become higher. So that's one way, one simple way of looking at it.
So in a way, you can kind of be like a detective, look up those searches that relate to you, and then find out where are they showing up, like who is doing it right, and then see how they did it. Is it in the title or the H1 tag? Is it, should we still be doing all that?
Yeah, definitely. That's what's called SEO on page. And yeah, what you say is a detective. I call it in my YouTube videos. I say, okay, time to steal, because there's a bit of, you can see what keywords they add, what are they ranking for. Even you might see a page about time management that they added a specific subtitle about something else that you didn't think about. And Google is deciding to rank that page for that thing too, that keyword. So you can just like, okay, I do it better if you can. Definitely not copy and all these things. That's clear. And but yeah, it's definitely like a detective stealer kind of way. And yeah. That's definitely the good thing, that with SEO is easier. It's right there to see what to do. You never start from zero. You never like, okay, I don't know anything. You just research.
Should we also have articles on the website or just blog posts?
Um, I differentiate. Well, it depends on the website. If it's a big one, it's different. But definitely a blog post for all these informational keywords, and if you can have them definitely in a blog section, or not even just slash blog. If you can be, if you're talking about different things, you can have different parts like time management, money management, all this, and under that directory that you called, have your articles. And then I would have sort of my money pages. So some pages target informational keywords that, looking at the keyword, you're like, okay, the person wants information about this. And then I would create specific pages for transactional intentions or keywords. When you like, okay, this person wants time money management course, and that's a different type of page than how to manage my money. That's a blog post. The other one is like a landing page. I call them like that: blog post and landing pages.
So you're kind of differentiating with your blog posts, like specifically pick a couple blog posts that are really going to be for specific keywords, and then your general blog posts, like you don't do that for every one of them, right? Like some of them you'll toss in your general mix of keywords, but some of them are really wired to be, this is my star for that phrase, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have clients that they want to write about something, and I'm like, there's no searches for it, so we can do it. You're definitely free to do it, but just no one is going to see it in this way from Google. They will see it if they go in the website through another way, and it's there, the article, and they see it definitely. So yeah, I think you should have a mix. You don't have to have your website completely done for others of what they search. It should be the main part of it, because not only you're going to get more people, that you are aligning your business to what people want, what they're searching for. But yeah, if you have an article that is perhaps not focused on something that people search, and you really want to add it, you can definitely add it. And you never know, maybe at the moment, at the time that you search, and you're like, okay, this keyword doesn't have searches, but I'm going to write it anyway. Maybe in 1 year people start to search about that, and your page, it appears. So yeah, it's definitely like a flow. Have those articles definitely focus on SEO, and the other ones just more on content.
Recently, I've decided to kind of switch my system for social media output to focusing on my podcasts, which I try to release 2 or 3 a week, and then have everything be focused on that. So everything stems from those things that I can focus on. Like, here's my little show, my podcast on Monday and my podcast on Wednesday. Now I can dice that up and cut it up. And all of my Instagram, everything is related to that. Is that a good approach?
Yeah, I do the same with my YouTube. So yeah, is what you say of time management. You don't really have to do, and if you really want to do it professional, you don't have time to do this. Every single post on social media to be completely unique, like from scratch. Okay, Monday's post, let's do it. It's all white in your Canva or whatever. You can. It's definitely about redoing things, reuse this, recycle the content, because you're creating it. So you might be like, maybe a listener might be thinking, oh no, but it's not unique. The user is going to. You get that perception because you're creating it. You're like, oh, I'm putting this podcast, but then I'm using the same clip for Instagram. Will they say, oh, no, they won't, because in Instagram, one person is seeing it, and in the podcast, another person is seeing it. Two different people, they see it for the first time. So that first impression is what they want. And of course, if everything is around your main source of or income or joy, whatever reason you do the podcast, or myself, the YouTube, if it's definitely a clip of that, you are selling what you're doing and saying, this little maybe 30-second clip brought you value. If you want more of it, the person can see it's a podcast. They can if you add those call to actions that are called, that are very important, they will end up going to your podcast. And yeah, that's
Will I get penalized for posting the same exact blog article in Instagram and my blog post and LinkedIn?
no. So if you so you talk about the blog post completely, right, or a
Yeah.
specific part? Yeah, no, you definitely, for example, if you have a blog post that has 5 different points of time management, and you want to make each of those 5 points into an Instagram image with a caption, yeah,
Hmm.
and you want to put that title in the caption, no problem at all. The only problem with SEO and duplicate content is when you get content and you copy and paste it either in another in another page of your website or in another website. Imagine you have another one specific, then that would be an issue. But when you share uh, copy and paste in Instagram or LinkedIn, is not really a problem. There was some information I searched some time ago actually about is LinkedIn articles. uh, I don't know what it's called, polls, something like that, that they are genuine articles. And there was some information from SEOs asking in forums like, oh, can I copy and paste my article completely in LinkedIn? And they said that's not really an issue because Google can see which one is the original. They can see that your one is the original. So the LinkedIn one will be like the fake one. But yeah, there's not an issue there at all.
So my blog could be the same as like my Medium.
Yeah, Medium is another source also of blog posts. Yeah, that's what I saw in a forum, because there was people wondering about this. Like that's because with SEO is a lot of wondering. So you get some information from Google, you get some information from people doing tests and checking things by themselves, but some things are not really clear. So it's a lot of I think this, I think that. So what I saw is that it's okay that Google has the technology to understand that your blog post is original from your website. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, this is really helpful. In regards to YouTube, I know that you're really getting a lot of success with YouTube. What are some strategies to get some more subscribers? Basically, I find that I try different types of videos, but I don't know if I'm not handsome enough, uh, but not getting too many subscribers.
Yeah, is YouTube SEO will be one of the ways. Completely the same concept we've explained on Google SEO. The same thing. Look for the keywords. It's a little bit harder to find free tools that give you search for YouTube. There is one. I don't know if it's. Well, there are tools for sure. I don't know if there's free ones, but there are some tools, and it's the same concept. Put a general keyword, see suggested ones, make a video about that, and then YouTube's algorithm is a bit different from Google. And what they want to see is to have those technical things of the keyword in the title, in the tags, description, in the transcript of your video. Make a transcript so the search engine can or YouTube can understand it.
So include that also in the description, the transcript.
No, the transcript will be just to add like the subtitles. Would be there's an
Okay.
automatic way to do it. Actually, when I did my first YouTube video, I was gonna like wow, I need to write everything I did, I said. And then there's a button like completely like only 5 mistakes in a 20-minute video. I was like,
Mm.
whoa. So actually they say this helps for YouTube. They say it mainly helps to rank the video in Google, that you can do that too, also. But the most important thing on YouTube is that people stay watching your video. So
Right.
when people, you make it clear to YouTube that your video is targeted in money management, and then okay, it's clear. Now let's see how people interact with it. So if you might start to rank, or you might get some tests from suggested. They're always doing tests with videos, and if people stay on it, they're like, okay, let me show more, let me rank it more and stuff. And so that's definitely one point. And then the other would be that I saw this in I've seen it from some YouTubers saying that it's important that not only people see your whole video or a lot of the video, that they go to like another one, that they don't leave YouTube, that they don't go even to like a completely different topic of YouTube. Just stay on YouTube. YouTube wants to that you stay there. For
I've
sure.
seen people that have like a template for the description and pretty long. Like here, click here if you want to go to the next video. Here's some similar videos. Here's my all my social. You also recommend filling that out. Having like a template because you can set it up that it already appears, right?
Mm.
And then you can just add a couple things.
Yeah, definitely. That's to, like we said, like time management of doing things. You can't just do everything from scratch. Um, that will play into action also copywriting. That is really important. I would try to do a description not filled with everything. I don't like this one's like follow me here and on this and that and
Yeah.
because just people end up doing nothing from people that watch a video, maybe like 10% click the description anyway, and if it's full of things, you're not going to get any clicks. So try to do it clear, like send people to the right place rather than give them everything.
Hmm.
Send them to where you really want them to go, and make it simple.
Should we be doing the shorts videos? What's that? 30 seconds or less? 15
60,
seconds?
60, yeah, 60,
Okay,
60.
60.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to really try to get some increased views?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So basically, what I'm doing is what you explained with your podcast. I'm doing these short videos, 3 a week, and then I post them. It's really interesting because I post them in Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Right? It's the same video. Nothing changes, and I can see like sometimes TikTok it blows up, and then YouTube is like 30 views.
Yeah.
Or Instagram, and then it's the opposite. It's like, what are they thinking about? These algorithms are really quite different. They're either different or just that the algorithm showed at that moment my video to people, and in that moment the people didn't like that, like the video, so then it's not recommended. But yeah, with shorts, I'm also adding my videos in shorts, and it seems very difficult to get picked up in shorts.
Hmm.
I don't know, they say that it's definitely not as much space for you than TikTok and stuff, so less chances to show up, and the videos maybe a bit more general. My ones are so specific. If you have very specific ones, maybe they don't really work. I don't know, but I'm testing. I'm doing a lot of testing.
I found that on Instagram Reels that sometimes I'll get 2,000 views and a lot of
Exactly.
likes. And so it's like you say, it's you can't really predict what it is, but I haven't had many results from the YouTube shorts. But with Instagram Reels, it seems like there's the possibility.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. What I've seen myself with Instagram Reels is that the video might uh, get some views, like 1,000 or 2,000, but not so much interaction compared to TikTok. So if you put 1,000 in TikTok, 1,000 in YouTube, TikTok, I might get like 30 followers and 200 likes. And then in Instagram, might be like 3 followers and 30 likes. That's
Yeah.
what with my test it seems like. And then and then YouTube Shorts, uh, 10 views. It's really, and then I might suddenly the next one get 200 views. It's really quite random. It's quite interesting to
Now, I'd
see.
like to talk about TikTok because most people that I speak with, entrepreneurs, they really kind of they're not very interested in TikTok. But I think there seems to be a lot of engagement, and I do get a lot of comments back, and I get some energy back. So I like
Yeah,
that about TikTok. I think
definitely.
the challenge is that a lot of the target market is younger than what would be my target market. But then I see people that are doctors or psychiatrists, and they're presenting adult material and doing very well. So what have you found with TikTok that works well?
Yeah, exactly that. That people seem to interact more and definitely more views, more results, more everything. And to me it could be something like, because when something is new, people realize it more, because when something is always the same for a lot of years, people become blind to it, like the ads. That's why these companies have to be changing the ads all the time. So because TikTok is new, even though it's been some years, but compared with Instagram, it's new, people seem to be like more excited about it and use it more and more live there. And um and yeah, with what you said, this also happens with business owners, that they might say, oh, it's for old people there. If you're a business owner, you might just need 30 new clients to be successful for 1 year, for example. So
Right.
when you generalize things like, oh, that's for young people, it's like, you know how many millions of I don't know, from 30 to 60 people, are on TikTok. Even though it's sold and it's definitely the biggest percentage is young people, you definitely have everyone there. So if you're a big company, maybe you should think about this and where to go. But if you're not big, just do marketing. Do everything you can everywhere with the resources and the time you have, and test things.
I
So
remember looking up on Google. I just typed in my book name, my business name, All the Hats We Wear, and like half of the top 10 that came up were with TikTok.
TikTok,
So
on your videos, right? Yeah.
yeah, and I did have a there was a person that I follow on TikTok who's really good with how to use TikTok very effectively. I'll have to get her name. But she was saying that you should have, instead of having All the Hats We Wear, my business name as the title and the logo and the icon, that I should have my face, and I should people can connect more with a face and, Scott Snow Coach, instead of All the Hats We Wear with a logo. Do you have any opinion on that?
No, yeah, definitely. That this is a bit of the branding decisions you have to do, and you might start with one. When you made your business and your website, you're like, I have to start with one. I don't have data to test. So you start, and then you can get insight from other professionals or other people, or feedback from, there's really good feedback from maybe you have your last some connections from people on your website or clients. You can ask them, do you like this, do you like that, would you change this? And the other part of feedback you could get is testing. You could test, maybe change the face, from the logo to the face, like your friend said. And yeah, if it works, it works. It's No one's really going to give you the magic answer. You just have to, or either get feedback or test, and then
Because
that's.
you have a combination. It's your face, but then it's your business name, right? For TikTok.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's my face. Is my surname. So this is funny. My name is Alex Collins, and then Alonso from my Spanish side. And I really stayed for like 1 month to think of my name, or what to do with the
Hmm.
SEO and stuff. And then I was like, okay, this name. And then I realized that people think my surname is Colin without an S, because I definitely not gonna put Collins and then another S. It was super
Yeah.
ugly. So I just put Collins SEO, SEO in Spanish, SEO in English. Um, but yeah, it's a bit of my the mix of my name and stuff. It's more like personal branding. I was thinking the other day, oh, if I ever turn into an agency or something, would I have to change name, because it's kind of personal. It's my surname, so I don't know. But
Right.
yeah, it's more personal. My social media stuff. Yeah.
Um, just had an idea, but for TikTok, is it a good idea to video screen capture your videos in TikTok before you publish them, and then you could use that for Instagram without the TikTok logo? Is that a good approach? And I've
Yeah,
also heard that you should start something in TikTok and go, well, if for the full report, go to Instagram. Have a reason instead of just identical stuff.
yeah. So with the first question, with the thing of the logo, there was some, like a month ago, some news saying that Reels can see if you have the TikTok logo and will not show your video. I see videos from TikTok in Reels with 2 million views. So these are things they say. You never know if they do or don't. If they come out, if it's not an effort for you to have original video, and you can post that one in TikTok and that one in Reels, do it like that. If you don't have the time, or you record your video in TikTok, for example, that could be, then just put it there. And yeah, if you see that doesn't work, there could be 1,000 reasons why it doesn't work, but one of them could be that the logo moving. And And then, oh yeah, with the second question, you need to be smart how you do that. I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna do a YouTube video about it actually. Um, I'm doing this TikTok videos, oh, for everywhere, but they work on TikTok the most, and sending people to the YouTube at the end.
Yeah.
But what I mean by being smart, first of all, don't just promote. What I do is, let's say in the first 25 seconds, I give real value, right? Real value that the person is like, okay, if they saw until the second 25th, it will be good video. And then in the last 10, say, if you want to know specifically how I did this thing that I just told you, go to the video, like that.
Right.
And that tends to work. And the other thing is not to do it always. So I post 3 videos a week, maybe do one of them or two like that, but just don't do it all the time, because in the end, people will see that you're kind of trying to sell or trying to do things all the time, and just
Do you
be
have,
chill about it.
should you be doing the trends often, or is there a mix of how many trends you should incorporate in what you're doing?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something that I always want to do, but I also don't really like it. Like the trends. I mean, my one is quite specific, like SEO. So I have thought of some videos of trends. Like I saw one on D2 marketing of like when a client asks like a silly question, like, "Can I be number one tomorrow in Google?" And there's like they put a song like. So yeah, I would like to do that too. But to your question, yeah, trends definitely work, because a trend is like a signal for TikTok that people like this. If a trend becomes big, they like it. So because they show it to more people, and because they show it to more people join the trend. And if one of your videos is there, you're gonna get shown to more people rather than if it was a not a trendy video in a way. And all this thing of the music, it works really well. They said, yeah, yeah.
I noticed because I keep switching between the business account and personal account for TikTok
Mm.
or creator account. But the business one, I get the link. I like having the link. I have the link tree link there.
Mm.
And then, but the other one doesn't have a link. You can't have the link if you don't have 1,000 with a personal or creator account. You need 1,000 to be able to have a link in your profile.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know that you need I know you need 1,000 to get a live to be able to do live. But you might be
Yep.
right. You know why? Because I have a creator account, and I didn't get the link, and I saw a friend that he got it, but he had under 1,000, I think. But anyway, and then the other day I just checked on my settings just to check, and it was there. I was like, whoa. So yeah, maybe it's the thing of 1,000 that you need. But
Yeah.
I haven't tried business. I don't know what's the difference 100% with the business. I just have creator, and I know you get a Q&A thing. And I think with a business, you might get like an icon for the email. Maybe, I'm not sure. To add your email that people can click and like
I don't
send
think
an
so.
email. No, yeah. I also depends with the social media. It depends a lot with uh, the update you have in your phone and where you are in the country. The thing of the link might be only in India or something like that. They do these things all the time.
Because they
So
do, I
you
have
just
the
have to.
access. I'm sorry. I
No,
have
you just have to
access.
be checking. You just have to check all the time.
Okay.
Basically.
The closed caption is another thing I'm doing on TikTok. You make the video and then just click that button and it just runs through and I do that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that's also new. That's also new that I saw, and they are preparing it for reels. I saw, and they
Hmm.
are preparing it in a way that it's like really, when you add the lyrics of a song, that a word comes big and another one like really nice design. They're preparing that for reels. I saw. So yeah, I've seen. I've got in the past week some TikToks in my account with the closed captions, but yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I might try it and see if people like it or not. To
Hmm.
me, I don't like the thing I don't like about TikTok too much is they seem to hide the video from the bottom and from the left. Everything's too big. So I try to keep it as little as possible. So if you use an effect, it's like another thing, effect. And it's like, I want to see the video. Don't show me so many things. But I would try. I would try the captions. Yeah, yeah.
And of course, with all of them, we should be doing hashtags with Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all hashtags that we need, right?
Yeah. Definitely hashtags. And especially in TikTok, they seem to work pretty well. Although you don't really get the data to see if they come from the hashtags. When you search, I got other people's because you should never kind of check from your account because you might show up because it's you. But I check from other people's Instagram, and when you go to the hashtags and stuff, I'm there, and I'm not a big account on TikTok. So if I'm there, it means the opportunity, because in Instagram and stuff, it's kind of hard to rank on those hashtags. You need to be a big account and all these things. So I would say, yeah, in TikTok, use those hashtags, make sure they have their, they say this thing all the time that it should be like a mix of really big, medium, and small, right? Like really small. So if
Yeah.
you, it creates a bit of a mix there that if you do well here, it goes to the next one, and all these things. Yeah. But yeah, definitely use relevant hashtags.
I remember from Gary V. He wrote that book, left. What is it called? Jab, left hook, or something like that.
Oh yeah, I
Like a
heard about
boxing type of title.
it. Yeah.
Jab, left hook, or something. And he talks about the difference in approach for all the different social media platforms, that you can't just approach them all the same. Do you find that as well?
No, yeah, definitely. That's why it's, you need to be smart with everything. So if someone, for example, imagine you're a business owner and you just asked me at the beginning, oh, is it good to recycle all the content and use? And someone might tell you, yeah. But if you just, okay, I do that, maybe it doesn't work for you, or maybe someone else comes and tells you, no, it's the opposite, or do it like that. But you should also, like Gary Vee said, so you should always be smart with your decision so you don't waste resources. And then when you do it, test, see what happens. So I would say, yeah, especially because of the type of people and the feeling around the social media, different social media. So maybe the content can be the same, but for your podcast, for example, in Instagram, you can add a video of a 30-second part where you explain a nice paragraph or a thing you said. And maybe in TikTok, it has to be more like, hello guys, like more cut in a different way. Maybe the same exact video, but with different changes. And maybe for YouTube, a little different. So just adapt, try something, adapt, and see. Yeah.
One thing I found about YouTube, the top ones that are ranking are beautifully produced. They've got graphics, and I don't see how they must have a whole team. It's hard enough for me just to take the Zoom video of like the podcast and get that up on YouTube. So how and it leads me to this, like, do you think I should even post this podcast, with the split screen from the Zoom call? There's not going to be a lot of graphics in between, like, you do a nice job with making it more entertainment based. What are your thoughts on that? Should I just make I started to just take the whole video of the podcast and then go into iMovie in my MacBook and then just splice up a couple chunks, maybe 2 to 4 minute chunks, and then make those separate videos that I could put up. They seem to be more able to be consumed than, like, here's the whole 40-minute video of us just talking.
No, yeah, and specifically for you with podcasts, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and even the biggest ones, I've heard they say about this, like, why don't we hear, why don't we rank, or we don't get as many views, and then they say, oh, but we get a lot of views in the clips channel, and with podcasts it seems to work quite well what you said. So get a clip, and instead of putting 30 minutes of a podcast, imagine in the podcast, this podcast specifically, you do a clip about SEO tips, another one about social media tips, and another one about whatever. And if you cut it, you're telling YouTube, this video is about this, and it has this. So maybe it could rank, or it could get suggested, because in YouTube is also, you can get from suggested and stuff. Rather than the whole thing all together, YouTube is like, okay, this is a podcast, I just treat it like, I don't know, 100 views. But if you have the clips, it works pretty well. Yeah. And what you said about the being nicely produced, it definitely doesn't have to, you don't have to do it, but producing it, and when it's produced nicely, it's nice, people watch it more, and people watch it more in data. It's not really that YouTube is like, oh, this video is in slow motion, blurry background mode, I'll rank it higher or something. No, it's just that people stay longer watching it. So
which makes sense, when it looks great. It looks like you're watching a TV show,
Yeah, definitely. And but yeah, it's all about, at the end of the day, just making people stay. It could be the produce, it could be the clips, it could be the value, it could be that you're funny. I don't know. It's just each one's different.
Well, I think the biggest learning that I've had from our conversation so far is just widening that net to get people in. Like you're saying, take some of the clips of this podcast and entitle them about SEO. I never would have thought that. I would just be thinking time management, time management. But you get people in like, small business owners that need SEO, that you get them in, and now they go, oh, well, this guy does time management stuff as well. Maybe I'll check out the podcast. So that's a way to get people in.
Yeah, definitely. That. It's just pure marketing. Just do whatever you can to show to as many people as possible. And if you post and as many audiences as possible, if you post the full podcast, it might be for the people that they are on YouTube and then suggest a video, they want the podcast. They're like, oh, nice. But then the short ones might be for the person searching for SEO tips or the other ones. So just kind of
Right.
broaden that spectrum of people.
Yeah. And I think maybe even with my blog posts and like all my social media, maybe start to have more of the hashtags and SEO keywords that are outside of the time management part. Like one feature of my podcast is usually, if it's not an interview podcast, then I'll have maybe 5 or 6 stories in the news related to it. So it could be, what Bill Gates said about, life purpose. So if I, focus on that being the Bill Gates, well, Bill Gates said this about living your best life, that would have a lot more chance of getting some traction than, episode 76, of the podcast.
No, yeah, definitely, and that definitely helps for SEO, but just for your users, you always have to have your users in mind, and obviously telling the person what they're gonna get when they click is definitely better than podcast number this or news of the day or something like that. It
Right.
definitely.
I think a lot of people make those mistakes with their blog. It seems almost that I see a lot of businesses that, even like life coaches, that have a blog, but it seems to be just like because they have to do it. It doesn't seem to be a real labor of love. Like it's like a nice letter you're writing to a friend. It's just I have to do a blog once a month.
Yeah. That's the thing. Also, because not everyone is like a writer, and some people might write an amazing blog fast and others not so fast, and if you just have to do it, you see the difference. And in my case, I read a lot of blogs obviously about SEO, because there is some unbelievable professional people, and not just SEO. It might be like developers that they give you SEO tip and you're like, man, I can't even get this in a master. If I did like a 7,000 master, they're not even this blog post would be a lesson in a master. It's unbelievable. And you can see when something is written well and when something has real value. Like you can really see it. And it doesn't matter how long it is, how many days, how many that. It's just the beginning, like what's inside, and then what you put there in that blog post in this case.
I know we were talking about transcriptions before. Are they good for SEO? Like I just signed up with Otter, so now I can get the transcript of each podcast episode. How should I include that in my blog post about that episode?
Yeah, so with the transcriptions, how it helps with SEO is you see that in the SERP, which is search engine results page, it stands for, sometimes they show videos, and even more now they're showing videos with the chapters and with this and with everything really. So the transcript helps YouTube, the crawler, Google, to crawl your video and understand what it's about. So you almost treats it like a website, the video like as if it was a website. And when someone searches time management tips, if you have your video and in the transcript, this tip, number 1, 2, 3, the best thing about this, the pros and cons, they might be like, the crawler in 1 second is a robot. They might be like, oh yeah, this one, definitely put it there on YouTube, on Google search. So the transcript helps to rank in Google for videos.
Are you saying the transcript or the closed caption writing that's on the bottom? Are you considering that the transcription?
Yeah, I call it subtitles. I don't know. It's the different name.
As opposed to having the big text file.
Yeah. So basically what you say in the video in a written form, that is in subtitles. Yeah, that's what helps. But yeah, with the transcript too. So it's.
I'm wondering in my blog post if I should have the text of the Otter that I.
Yeah, they can say too. That's another way. We've been speaking about recycling content. That's another way that people do is imagine you do the clip, you get this podcast and you do the thing of SEO tips. Okay. you will be competing against me on YouTube.
Mm.
No, but yeah, imagine you do that. So you have your 5 minute video of SEO tips, and then that video you can get the text we have speaking and adapt it to an article. Not really copy paste it there, like Alex said this, Scott said that, not like that, like in a blog format. So you are recycling that content in different ways, adapting it to each one for YouTube and Google, and that's you get more chances of getting more exposure, more views and stuff. Yeah, yeah. It
Mm.
would be a bit hard to rank for SEO tips. I tell you that already, with in on Google or even YouTube, but you have to start somewhere.
Oh, I think they'll know pretty quickly that you know more than me. Well, this has been awesome. I haven't even looked at my notes because we're just gabbing along. So, how can
Yeah, yeah.
people?
I was thinking. I don't know if we were going to. You're gonna prepare something, or but we started talking, and boom, it didn't even feel like a podcast, just like a normal call.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way I like it to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how can we learn about you and your business?
Yeah, so I'm in I have a website which is colinseo.com, and then I'm pushing for my YouTube. And so basically how it works is I have my clips, short clips that I put 3 a week. Two of them are SEO tips, and one of them is like the free SEO tool of the week. And then on YouTube, I post them too there. But on YouTube, I have SEO tutorials that basically show what I do with my clients, show you how to do it basically in a nice way. Like I don't like to be like, oh, I get professional when I have to work, but even my clients can tell you I'm like, I make jokes and all these things, so it's fun for me to do these videos. So there in my YouTube you definitely can learn SEO. And then yeah, I also have a bit of a newsletter that I send every week with a few of the things I've learned to use SEO to learn SEO that week, and a few more tips and stuff. And if you go to my YouTube, you definitely see me say, newsletter. I need to relax a little with that maybe. And then yeah, just in my website, obviously I have my services. If ever my objective is either people learn the same way I did, because I didn't learn SEO in a degree or master, I just learned online, or a different audience is a business owner that might want to learn a little bit, and then they might be like, okay, I learned from Alex, but I don't have time for this, so let Alex do it for me. So they can go to
Right.
my website and we can start
I
working.
could see that happening with watching some of your videos. They're so jam packed with info that at first you could say, all right, I'm going to learn this. And then after a while you go, oh, I got a headache. This is a lot.
That actually happened. That's unbelievable. This thing that happened. So, my first YouTube video was real estate SEO. That was the keyword. Yeah. So I was targeting real estate people that they're like, oh, let me rank number one, and they're like, oof. So yeah, it worked pretty well, and it's ranking up there. If you type, you might see my face there, like. Ugh. But yeah, I got a message some weeks ago saying, oh, I've seen your video. Exactly the message I want. Could you do it for me? Services, blah blah. And then this video is ranking is in English, and it's ranking. My YouTube is in English, everything, by the way. And my it's ranking everywhere in the world. And this person could have been from anywhere in the world. And I asked them, okay, yeah, let's do a call. And she was from the same city where I live. She's from Alicante. So it's the chances of that is she searched in English here because she speaks English, and in the same city. I actually couldn't believe it. I was like, this must be like one in a million. So yeah, I started working with this real estate agency. So it can definitely work. That's a thing that I'm like, oh, this YouTube, it might work.
Okay. And sorry about the noise in the background. You probably hear my dog barking.
Now you said it, and I think he heard you. It's like my turn to bark.
Yeah. She looked up my rankings for time management. It wasn't high enough, so she's upset.
She's there like, hey, come on, you have to work. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great pleasure. I know that my listeners are going to benefit a lot from this and go through and try to apply that. And if they can't, they should reach out to you and contact you and hire you to do it for them.
Yeah,
My
whatever
final,
they want. In my website, I have very clear: do my SEO or learn SEO. Whatever route you want to take, I can help.
I noticed that. My last question, Alex, is how can doing effective SEO help our listeners live a more purposeful and fulfilling life?
Yeah, I think is the thing that made me go like, oh, I want to do this, is that you are basically aligning what you are doing and what you want and what you think that people want. When you do SEO, it helps you to find it, to really, really align it. And in a good way, in a bad way, you might realize like, whoa, this is working great. And you grow, and you definitely grow, and more people see what you do, and you might get more fulfillment or more money or whatever your purpose is. Or you might not rank at all, even if you try everything correctly. And that might mean that, listen, what you want to do, your business, whatever is right, but you're not really aligning it to your audience. And sometimes it can be hard for that to realize, or to be like, oh, but that's the reason why you do it, right? You do something for people, not only for money. We're not talking only about businesses, but for purpose. You do something, you want people to see it, and SEO definitely helps you that. And yeah, if you do well SEO, you will be happy, more or less.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Alex, for being on the show.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.